Hi, my name is Bonnie Keating, and I'm going to present a key assessment for the case study report for Applied Nutrition 605. So, patient that we are doing assessment on is Jane, 14-year-old female. She was referred by her primary care physician for counseling for weight management. She's considered overweight by her BMI, which is 28. Her weight has been increasing for the last 6 years, 10 to 15 pounds. And she lives at home with her parents and two younger siblings. Her parents struggle with weight themselves, and they often run out of money at the end of the month. And they often eat fast food, and Jane also eats lunches at school. I believe that the lifestyle that Jane's parents currently are living are a direct reflection of Jane's current health status. According to her labs, as you can see here on the slide, that she's 5'2", 152 pounds, which is considered heavy for a 14-year-old at that height. Her pulse is 80 beats per minute. Blood pressure is elevated at 125/82. Doctor says her appearance is obese. Again, her BMI is 28, which puts her in the overweight category on the BMI chart. Sodium levels aren't stellar. They could be definitely better. They are elevated in the upper range. Her potassium is okay. If she increased her potassium, her blood pressure would improve. Fasting glucose is way too high. Hemoglobin 5.5, way too high. Cholesterol is not great as well. Her HDLs are too low, they need to be higher, and her LDLs are too high, they need to be lower. And also her triglycerides are around 136. Her current health status, according to her 125/82 blood pressure, puts her with the new guidelines at stage 1 hypertension because her diastolic pressure is over 80. Her resting heart rate, 80, elevated. In my opinion, her cardiorespiratory conditioning could be better. I know there's a range between 60 and 100, but I think being 14 years old, due to her weight and height, she should be considered in the adult category, and that would be elevated for an adult. Her fasting glucose is elevated, which puts her at risk for developing type 2 diabetes, and at the rate at which her parents are overweight and having health concerns as well, it's a direct reflection of what maybe she may develop if she maintains her same diet plan and lack of activity. Her HDL, which is good cholesterol, is too low, as I mentioned before, indicates she consumes too much saturated fat and not enough dietary fiber. Like I said before, her parents are overweight, they eat lousy, their family eats lousy. Her parents' lifestyle choices are negatively affecting Jane and eventually could lead to affecting her younger siblings as well. So according to the Center for Disease Control percentile charts, when we're looking at her weight for her age, she's around the 95th percentile, which means she outweighs 95% of her age group. When you're looking at her BMI for age, she's also in the 95th percentile. When you look at how tall she is for her age, Jane is in the 37th percentile. So she's taller than about 63% of the individuals in her age group. When we look at her needs, Jane's needs, her macronutrient needs, according to the RDI for health professionals, her energy intake, according to her height, weight, is 2,368 calories to sustain where she's at. Recommends that her carbohydrates be between 45 to 65% of her caloric intake, which puts her around 266 to 385 grams. Her dietary fiber should be 26 grams at least. Her healthy fats, linoleic acid, alpha-linolenic, 11 grams and 1.1 grams. Protein around 65 grams. Cholesterol less than 300 milligrams a day. And saturated fat should be 10% of her caloric intake or less, which would be around 26 grams or less. Jane's macronutrient needs, according to the RDI for health professionals, as you can see here, some of the major ones, vitamin D, around 15 micrograms, iron, magnesium. What I noticed mostly in her results were when we're making a meal plan is making sure that she got enough calcium in her diet and also enough vitamin D. When you look at her 3-day meal plan charted out here, you could see how each meal was broken up. And you can just see that she consumes a good amount of sugar, added sugar. She should take in less than 59 grams, but in her meals she's hitting 100 or plus. Dietary fiber is low, could be better. Vitamin D was low, as you can see. Her highest one was meal 1 at 7. And again, her cholesterol was that third meal of the day at 525 grams is very high. And sodium levels are out of this world, 4,490, 5,000. So that's indicative that she's definitely eating a lot of fast food. So some of those nutrient deficiencies, dietary fiber averaged 9 grams too low, calcium averaged about 200 milligrams too low, potassium was low. You can see there that vitamin D, they're 10 micrograms too low on average. Things that she's over consuming that's affecting her health, calories, around 589 calories. So about 500 calories plus extra a day could equal about a pound a week. The fact that she's 14 years old is probably why she's not gaining more weight at the rate that she is. Her protein averaged around 30 grams too high. That's around 120 extra calories coming from protein. Cholesterol averaged 108 too high. Added sugar 52 grams too high. That's 208 calories extra of just sugar. There's no nutrients coming from that. Her saturated fat, again, 45 grams on average too high. That's around 405 calories too high just coming from saturated fat. Basically, some of the recommendations that I would give to her is that she's eating too much fast food. It's low in fiber, high in saturated fat, high in sodium, high in added sugar, high in calories. So some of the foods that she should look for when she's at school or encourage her parents to buy her foods with the best nutrient density relative to the number of calories. So avocados have lots of healthy fats, fiber. Spinach has a lot of vitamins and minerals. Kale, bell peppers, sweet potatoes are a great source for lots of nutrients. Low-fat yogurt, eggs, dried beans and lentils are a good source of fiber. Brown rice, salmon, chicken, and turkey. So, diet and lab correlations. You can see that fast food is contributing to elevated LDL, cholesterol, blood pressure, sodium, fasting glucose labs. Sodium coming from the fast food, also saturated fat, trans fat, added sugar in fast food contribute to elevated labs. So decrease sodium and saturated fat intake, increase her potassium, and her blood pressure will improve. If she increases her dietary fiber, decreases her added sugar, fasting glucose will improve, and also her cholesterol. If she takes out fruit juice, Coke, candy, cookies, that will also improve her fasting glucose and triglyceride levels. Recommendations: no more fast food. Try to make breakfast, dinner, and food on the weekends at home. Replace Coke and fruit juice with water or low-fat milk. Avoid cookies, candies, cakes, and replace them with whole fruit, not juice, but the actual whole fruit. Anything low-fat or low in sugar yogurt. Replace frozen breakfast foods with fortified low-sugar cereal, eggs, or oatmeal with fruit. Also said that she was drinking coffee. I don't think at 14 years old she needs to be drinking coffee in the morning, either low-fat milk or water. Continued recommendations: avoid snacks such as chips, buttery popcorn. Replace it with things lower in calories like pretzels, vegetables, Maybe add some peanut butter on the vegetables or hummus for more nutrients. When eating at school, try to encourage Jane to not pick any foods that are fried or have large portions of cheese due to the saturated fat content and large amount of calories. Take time to meal prep and plan to spend money wisely. For her parents especially, obviously if she sees her parents doing it, she'll learn how to do that as she grows up. So if you take the time to prep, when you go to the grocery store and you have this plan, you'll spend the money wisely. Some low-cost grocery items: rice, pasta, frozen vegetables, canned beans, lean chicken breasts tend to be cheaper than other types of meat, and tilapia. Some staple items can be made into several meals, where your money can be stretched for several meals. Instead of when eating out all the time, that's just one meal, and it's definitely overpriced for the quality of food that you're getting. Also, her parents could apply for some federal assistance programs, could help make buying food at the grocery store more accessible, cheaper, so that there's money at the end of the month. They could apply for the National School Lunch Program, where all the children in Jane's family could get lunch, either partially paid for or completely paid for. Provides balanced nutrition at a low cost. Usually if you can get SNAP, you also qualify to get the National School Program. So SNAP, also known as Supplemental Nutrition Program, offers nutrition assistance to low-income families, and is the largest program in the Domestic Hunger Safety Network. Jane's family of 5 can have a net income of $22,399, and they potentially could get $706 a month for a family of 5. Another program that Jane's mom might be able to qualify for, because she has a younger brother, would be WIC, at least for a year. It can help up to age 5, so her brother's 4, so a year of foods subsidized, like cereal, fruits, vegetables, eggs, milk, cheese, yogurt, soy-based beverages, tofu, peanut butter. So, I mean, that could pay for a large amount of food. Also, the Child and Adult Care Program, the 2 younger children, 8 and 4, Jane's siblings, could qualify for that and get healthy snacks and meals while they're at daycare. And then also Jane's family could potentially qualify for all these federal programs, and assistance could help Jane's parents afford healthier food options in order to optimize the family's health and improve Jane's overall. And then finally, the local food banks, usually once a month at various locations in the cities that you're located, offer up to 15 pounds, for example, of fresh produce, no questions asked. So you can see here Jane's 3-day meal plan. The goal here is around 2,300 calories, 2,370, 26 grams of fiber, less than 59 grams of sugar, staying under 23 milligrams of sodium, and getting all the vitamins and minerals. You can see here that getting lean protein from eggs for breakfast, adding milk, low-fat milk for that vitamin D deficiency that she's not getting, also calcium. You know, at lunch, taking away the fried foods and adding in a turkey sandwich, side salads with fruit is a main component, and just pretty much taking out a lot of the saturated fat and salt from the fast food. On the next one, same idea, baked chicken sandwich. Hi. So for this second meal again, you can see that added in some sweet peppers and hummus for a snack, garbanzo beans at dinner, so you don't always have to eat animal protein at your lunch. You can use plant-based proteins, is also healthy as well. And then for this day 3, same idea, put oatmeal at breakfast, some high fiber foods, and healthier snacks as well, yogurt. And then as you can see, these are the additional resources that I had that can be helpful as well.